Hello everyone, my name is Faiza Yusuf and I am a product management professional, and I started my career as a software tester. Currently, I'm working at Genetic Solutions as a senior product manager. And other than that, I run two nonprofit organizations. One is called Women in Tech PK, another is called Code Girls. They are both around gender inclusion in tech. So today I'm going to be talking about psychological safety at workplace. And this topic is extremely close to my heart. The reason being that this is one area that I think is extremely important when it comes to building teams, and especially for someone like me who's based out in Pakistan but works with teams across the globe. So I'm working with a lot of people from a lot of different cultures and people from a lot of different backgrounds and experiences and education level. And also I do work here in Pakistan with a lot of marginalized communities. So that's extremely important to build in your organization and within your team to ensure that people find that environment in which they thrive. So let's start with that. So what exactly is psychological safety? It is about, it is your ability to show yourself, to employ yourself completely without the fear of being judged, without the fear of facing any negative consequences because you have given an idea in a meeting, or you have stood up and discussed something in a team environment, or maybe you have done an experimentation and it failed or it did not work out, or you took some kind of risk, and you know that it is not going to create negative consequences on your self image, your status, your career, your repo in front of your colleagues. um, it can also be defined as a shared belief that the team is safe for interpersonal risk taking. So risk taking within the work environment is a safe thing to do. In psychologically safe teams, the team members feel accepted, they feel valued, they feel respected for their individuality as well as their contributions. So if actually it is basically keeping the individual at the center as a human being, that you are respecting that person, but at the same time removing his personality from the work that the person is doing. So when the work goes wrong, you do not point it out at the person, but you talk about fixing the work itself. So I think in my head, it is a top leadership competency that you are able to build team that feel safe within the work environment. And in my head, and a lot of research that I've read, this builds better team dynamics because people are not at each other's throat. People do not invest time in office politics. They do not invest time in building some kind of image, because that image building is extremely important in their head more than the work itself. It fosters learning via experimentation because you have removed the taboo around the around the word failure. So people know that even if they fail, they have gained something, and that what they have gained is basically the learning, and they know how not to do that thing or not to do repeat that experiment again. It supports innovative thought and action because people are not involved in that kind of authority bias. They're not just listening to the authority figure and just saying yes because they are scared of saying something on their own. So it basically gives you better ideas, and people invest themselves in the work. uh, it improves accountability and engagement, of course it does. And it unlocks creativity in individuals and teams. It creates a drive for excellence because people feel safe in that environment, so it gives them a lot of mental bandwidth so that they can work well in their roles, and they think about improving themselves, they think about growth, they think about a lot of different aspects of the work, um, because now they have time, they feel safe in the workplace, and they are not spending their time in kind of navigating the um, political horizon of an organization or within their team. And of course, it sets respect, fairness, and mastery as core values within the organization. So here are just some quick tips on building a psychologically safe team, or building that kind of safety at your workplace. So you need to let go of conventional ways of running teams. When I say conventional ways, I mean like you're running a factory floor. It's not like that. It's different. It's creative, intellectual work. And even in the case of running a factory, I think a lot of conventional ways of running teams have a lot of totalitarian, authoritative kind of vibes to it. So you need to build a team that trusts each other, and they're very good with this idea that they are responsible for that part of work, and they have to help each other, and they are kind of gathered around a single goal or value. So in olden days, people will tell you that you need to kind of wrap the bad news in something nice and then give it to people. I think it's an extremely bad idea. Shit sandwich is a bad idea. So when there is a bad news, when you have to deliver feedback, be authentic, be respectful, be kind, but deliver it. Be empathetic, understand what the other person is thinking or feeling, but at the same time, you have to say the truth. You have to give the other person the respect of knowing the truth as it is. Do not kind of sugarcoat it. You need to clearly communicate your expectations, and do not blindside your team members. Be consistent with what you say and what you do. If you won't be consistent, people will not trust you. They will consider you as a flaky person, as a person who just says and never does. So you don't want that. You have to hire better people and trust them to do their jobs, but do not throw them in the deep end. Give them a life jacket, give them support, mentorship, sponsorship, whatever is required to make sure that they reach their full potential. And when they reach their full potential, that's better for the organization itself. Then blame game is always a bad idea. You do not want people at each other's throat in an organization that needs that time and mental bandwidth to be spent on creativity and innovation. um, you need to be able to listen to people with intent and openness. And self-awareness is extremely important. Your ability to reflect on your own feelings and thought processes, and the way you talk to people, and the way you kind of understand what they're trying to say. So you need to be self-aware, and also kind of inculcate this in your team members, that people are self-aware and they just do not say things and do things without thinking about them. And when they know that they've done wrong, they understand it and they say sorry and they improve themselves, and get on a good foot. um, of course, you do not set up people for failure. So the gotcha attitude, or the attitude that I told you so, or the attitude where you just thrive on other people's failure because you think that you're smarter than them, that's a horrible idea. You may get some kind of satisfaction out of that, but it's overall bad for the organization and for the product and for the team itself. You have to be open to feedback. So in my role, a lot of people come to me. They talk about burnout, they talk about their managers, they talk about a lot of different things. Even though I'm an introvert and I do not and talking to people tires me, but because it's my role to listen to people and get feedback, not even about myself but about other people as well. So I have to be open to feedback, and retaliation is a bad idea to do. So you need to be open to listen to feedback. Think about it, reflect on it, and then see how you can solve that problem. Or if in a lot of cases you think that this problem is not solvable, is there any way that you can minimize it? In some cases there is no way to solve that thing. It's maybe inherent in the process or inherent in the work that you do. Then you need to have a discussion around that as well. um, and at the end, as always, these are two books that I've read on this topic. Excellent books, and I think you will really enjoy them. Thank you so much. And if you have any thoughts about this topic, please feel free to reach out. I really enjoy using Twitter, so you will find me mostly there. Thank you so much.